Peace and love, everyone. So, as you can see from the title, it's you've deleted social media and now you feel, disconnected. And anytime you're on social media, you always seem to feel disconnected and, sometimes you may feel drained. So, in this video, I'm going to be discussing why it is that you feel like this. And there's actually a spiritual reason behind why you feel disconnected from social media. So these are the spiritual reasons why you feel disconnected. So you have to understand, right, that, you've taken a big risk by deleting social media. You've done what a lot of people in this generation, 90% of people in this generation are afraid of doing this. And that is, being the one to rebel against society, being the black sheep of society. You've taken a big risk. You've deleted the apps. You've deleted all of the apps. And you kind of just, you may feel stuck and you may wonder, why is it that you feel so disconnected and drained from social media? Why do you feel better when you're away from social media, and how to handle being away from social media? So you have to understand, when you're on social media, right, your body and your mind is constantly scrolling. Constantly, you're seeing other people's life that you're watching. And this is all energy. When you're on social media, you are exchanging energy. Once those apps are on your phone, all of those big social media apps, right? It's energy. You're all exchanging energy. And you feel everyone's energy. Even the people you are watching, you are consuming their energy just by watching that person's life. So yes, when you're scrolling on social media constantly, it's an addiction, whether people like it or hate it. Social media addiction is very real. So you've become aware of this social media addiction that you may have had. And now you've disconnected. Now you finally defeated the addiction. We begin to realize that social media is a big distraction. It can be used for good. Definitely it can be used for good, but most of the time it's not needed. You don't need to be on it. You don't need to be on these apps. It's draining. It feels lifeless, and the reason you feel disconnected is because you don't think like the people you're watching. You don't think like them. Your heart is different. Your mind is different. Your energy is different. You know that your heart is pure. And this is one of the signs your heart is pure is, you don't want to be on social media. The realest people don't have social media apps. If you want to meet the realest people in life, I promise you, they don't be on social media. They don't have those apps. They don't have the big apps. Most of the time they're away from the apps. And yeah, you've kind of just come to the realization that you just don't want to be on social media. You don't want to be on social media. You don't have time to be on social media. You feel drained every time you're on social media. Literally, this is the confirmation that your soul and your mind is basically telling you it just doesn't want to be on these apps. So these are the spiritual reasons. You have to understand social media, once again, it's a big distraction, and this is why you feel so disconnected. Once again, watching other people's life 24/7 scrolling, 24/7 looking at, a whole bunch of things you see on social media, especially you see couples, you see thirst traps, and then one part of you wants to compare yourself to them. And you're afraid that if you don't post on your social media, you're afraid that you might miss out. These are all distractions. And this is why you finally come to the realization that you don't want to be on these apps anymore, because you realize it's all a distraction. It all disconnects you from reality. It disconnects you from your soul. It disconnects you from nature. Everything about social media is a big distraction. It's not needed. It's not necessary. And you feel all of the energies and emotions while you're on it. So these are the reasons you feel disconnected. This is the reason why you don't want to be on these apps. Once again, your soul is waking up. You're having a spiritual awakening. So one of the biggest reasons you don't want to be on social media, one of the biggest reasons you feel disconnected from social media, is because you're having a spiritual awakening. When you're having a spiritual awakening, you will tend to feel very distant from social media. You will tend to feel very disconnected from social media because you're having a spiritual awakening. And you've realized the next chapter in your journey requires you to not be on these apps. So this is the confirmation. If you feel the need to take a break from social media, if you feel the need to delete social media completely or to delete it permanently, I suggest go for it. This is your confirmation. But yeah, just wanted to say.